Hey and welcome back to the channel. In this video I want to show you 3 underrated libraries that I use every single day. I'll show you how to debug smarter with new print statements, also how to track your for loop progress, and also how to do a smart grid search. Here are the 3 Python libraries I wish I knew earlier. So we have icecream, tqdm, and optuna in action. So first, let's import the libraries that we need. And the first one up is icecream for smarter debugging. So normally my debugging would look something like this, where I do a print statement with an f string and say that score is some kind of score. But the icecream library makes this very, very simple. So if we just hit play here, we see that we have a function that computes a score that's given from age and purchases. And we have lots of different computations. The multiplier is different depending on the age, and we have a raw score and purchases, final score. And in order to keep track of all these, we just do the icecream and then just put all the variables in here. And then when we do the compute, we get all the names and the value of that variable out without having to write a complicated f string like this. So that's the first library. That's very useful. The second one is tqdm, which is somehow an Arabic word for progress, but it's a library for making progress bars. So here in this code, we load the iris dataset, x and y, we split it up into train test, and then we want to see which training depth is the most optimal for this problem. So for depth in range 2 to 12, so we have a random forest classifier, and we try the depth between 2 and 12. And we want to see which one is best. So we just hit this and we see that we naturally get a little progress bar, so we can see when the thing will finish. And this is very, very helpful in large training, when training large data sets and you don't know when you're going to finish. I can absolutely not stand just seeing the empty blink marker just waiting for me. So that's tqdm for you. You just use like this when you do the training. And let's move on to optuna. So optuna is for smart hyperparameter tuning. So when you're running a machine learning model and you want to tune the hyperparameters, which means the values that you change before running the model, which can have an impact on the training, like how many epochs you're going to run or the amount of estimators if you're running a random forest classifier, and you want to find out the most optimal place. And normally you could do a grid search. You just give your options and you just train the model multiple times, but this might not be the most optimal place. Optuna basically does a grid search where it starts in different corners and it finds out what kind of dimensions it needs to go in order to find the most optimal hyperparameters. It's kind of like a smart search for hyperparameter tuning. So let's try this out. We still have the X train, Y train from the iris dataset from up here. We have an objective, and its goal is to find the optimal number of estimators and suggest an int for max depth. So these 2 variables, it's trying to find the most optimal. And if we run this, it runs some trials, and the verdict is basically that the number of estimators that we should have is 147 and the max depth is 6 for the best score. So, and those were among the 3 most underestimated libraries that I've discovered. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, you can press here to watch the next video, and I'll see you there. And thank you for watching.